Hi and welcome everyone to our 87th episode of The Little Inside. I'm still Tobi, and this week I'm going to talk a little bit about our attitude, which is a very, very important topic. So let's get started right after the intro. Some people say that attitude is everything. I think that could be true, actually. Attitude is definitely a very, very important facet of the practice. That's why I always put it in the beginning of our meditation practice. There's the three components of the practice, which is a good posture, you have proper breathing, and then you have the third one, which is the attitude. When it comes to the attitude, I always say, let it be kind and caring. The attitude is a force in our practice that determines the direction of our practice, but not only in our meditation practice, but throughout our entire life. It is the attitude that kind of shapes or conditions the direction we take in our life. So you can say that you're creating your life from the inside out through your attitude. The attitude could be seen as someone that sits behind the steering wheel of a car. And if the person or the attitude steers to the left, then the car goes left. And so the entire direction and the outcome of that direction changes. And if we steer to the right, it's the same thing. It changes according to the direction. But everything in your life begins from your inner state, your inner position, your inner posture. That's why I really call our attitude kind of like our inner posture. One problem with not being mindful or aware of our attitude is that we often do our practice based on our unconscious habits. So for example, you might not be really liking yourself very much. So you sit down and do your meditation practice as an effort to somehow become a different person. A more enlightened, more kind, more peaceful, more calm person, etc. And so we are using the meditation practice not knowing that it is based on really not being okay with ourselves. We're kind of trying to bend ourselves into place according to the things that we have learned. For example, we might have learned that you should always be kind, you should always be happy, you should always experience bliss and gratitude. At every given moment of every day, you should always be grateful for what you have. Never make mistakes, you should always do everything perfectly, and so forth. So all these kind of patterns, they're installed when we're very, very young. And often throughout our entire lifetime, they remain unconscious. They're kind of hidden in the background. However, though, they run the show. They're kind of self-sustaining. One such pattern, the function of that pattern is to kind of keep staying alive or to spread. So anger wants to expand, for example. An angry pattern might be there. So that wants to expand, it wants to live, it wants to grow. And it will make sure that it can do that. So it will kind of keep itself alive through the subconscious activities. Now, detecting such a pattern is pretty difficult. Like for most of us, it will feel absolutely genuine. No, I'm sitting down because I really enjoy myself and I really like myself. But as you go deeper and deeper into your practice, gradually, like peeling an onion, the deeper layers will reveal themselves. So in the beginning, you're going on along well, and suddenly you discover, wow, I really don't give myself the space to actually relax. Instead, I'm trying this, I'm trying that. I constantly keep myself in a space of tension rather than actually relaxing and letting go. So very often that's then when we realize how important it is to be clear about what we're doing and why we're doing it. And yes, we're doing meditation so that we can heal, that life gets better, that we can be more happy, more joyful, that we can let go of suffering, stress, and misery that we are experiencing. Absolutely. But while that's the case, we also need to know how to accomplish that, right? And it's not accomplished by just, trying to add on more happiness to you, kind of painting a smiley over your depression or painting a happy face over your anger. That's not how to accomplish more happiness, right? We all kind of know that and understand that. However, in practice, it's really important to become conscious of this before you start, and then throughout the practice as well, throughout your meditative efforts. Meaning, when you sit down before you actually practice, ask yourself, what am I doing here? And why am I doing that? And now it comes to the attitude, how am I doing it? See, the techniques are important, but not as important as how you are practicing those techniques, how you do those techniques. When you're practicing a specific meditation technique, let's say you're practicing breathing meditation or like just basic open mindfulness, just being aware of sounds or smells or feelings that arise. If you're unaware, if you remain unaware of how you are practicing, like your basic attitude at work, then the attitude will make sure that certain elements that are in place will stay in place, such as disliking ourselves or being really an impatient person or angry or whatever kind of attitude there might be prevalent in your mindset. If you don't detect that, it will just stay alive, and then it will create results according to its nature. If your attitude is very kind, the results or your actions are based on that kindness, perpetuating that kindness. Same is true for compassion and other wholesome, skillful mental qualities. So I really recommend you at the beginning of each practice and throughout the entire practice to become aware of how you're actually practicing right now. So become aware of your attitude. There are two types of attitude, or two facets of the attitude. One is kind, one is caring. In the meditation practice, that's how I always walk people through the meditation. I would say, well, let your attitude be kind and caring. We are allowing ourselves, first of all, to be ourselves. Well, that's the attitude of kindness. You're accepting what's there. You're accepting your emotions, you're accepting your shadow aspects, you're accepting things that arise right now in this moment, and you're accepting them, or you learn to accept them as they are. You're being kind to your experiences. That's the first facet of attitude, as I always talk about it. The second aspect would be caring. Now, once you discover that you hurt, that there is something that's in pain inside of yourself, you want to care for it. You can also say it's almost like you're nursing it, you're helping it to heal. And you can help things to heal by giving them space to heal. And very often that's exactly what we're not doing. If we have an unpleasant experience in our meditation practice or in our day-to-day living, then usually we encounter it with resistance. We're trying to get rid of it, or we're following it and expressing it. Here, what caring means is you're giving it space. You're allowing it the time that it needs to heal. You're not rushing things. You're not pushing against it or expressing it. You simply allow it to be there in the space of your kind, compassionate attention. In that way, your attitude will have far-reaching results, and your meditation practice will develop faster and deeper. The reason why most people kind of get stuck in their practice is because they're unaware of who does the practice. They're unaware of their inner posture. They're concentrated on the technique. Maybe my room's not quiet enough. Maybe my neighbors are too noisy. Maybe it's not the right time. Maybe I should do it at 7 a.m. instead of 8 a.m. Maybe I should have breakfast after. All these kind of little details. But these are less important. What's more important is how you deal with yourself. Do you give yourself space? Do you allow yourself to be messy? Are you expressing the messiness or suppressing it? Or do you allow it to heal in the space of your awareness? So if you're kind and caring towards whatever arises in your practice or in your day-to-day life, then life becomes a whole lot more pleasant, and spiritual practice can unfold much more easily because you're kind of not in the way anymore. So that's all that comes to mind for this week concerning attitude. There might be more to say. Maybe at a later video I can talk a little bit more about attitude. For now, I think that's more than enough. I would recommend you guys to really implement it into your practice, really become aware of how you're doing it, what drives you to do that certain action, becoming aware of you resisting certain things, pushing against them, or following others, expressing them. So this will make your life a whole lot more easy because you learn to be at peace with yourself. If you do have any questions, feel free to write them down in the comment section below. And for now, I will leave you with that and look forward to see you all again next Wednesday. Bye-bye.